Okay, welcome everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please, for January 13th, the first meeting of the year. If you could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I have an invocation. God, we ask your blessings on those who have been called to lead this community in which we live, work, and play. Guide us peacefully through any debate. Remind us that we are not only leaders, but also servants, and servants above all else. Grant us the wisdom and courage to know what is good and do what is right. May we speak out when it is time to speak out, listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May we always be guided by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love in our beloved San Marcos. Amen. Okay, could we please have the roll call?
Yep. Well, the minutes will reflect that Councilmember LeBlanc is not with us this evening, and we wish her a speedy recovery. Councilmember Musgrove. Here. Councilmember Nunez.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Sanella.
Here.
And Mayor Jones.
Here. And I did want to make a comment actually about Councilmember LeBlanc. Unfortunately, she just had a second surgery. She's going to be good. We want her to stay home and spend a little time recuperating so that when she comes back, she will be ready and raring to go. We have a lot going on this year. So anyway, we wish her the best and speaking to her on a pretty regular basis. So we do wish her the best in recovery and the quick recovery as well. And then moving on to our consent calendar, are there any items that any council members wish to pull? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve them?
Move to approve tonight's consent calendar.
Okay,
Second.
and we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Hearing none. Okay, moving on to oral communications, and we have a couple of speakers. We have Liz Santos, and then that will be followed by John Mosher. Liz, come on down. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Jones and council members. My name is Liz Santos, owner of properties 134 and 140 East Barham Drive in the heart of the city. I support revitalization and responsible growth, but I cannot support a process that has been repeatedly overlooked my property rights and allowed unsafe behavior to continue without accountability. There was a city error in GP 200007 that directly affected my parcels, has thrown the administrative due process out of balance in favor of Gary Levitt. I have learned the city has expanded TPM 190001 based on this oversight and allowed and encouraged a lawsuit against my 82-year-old mother, causing significant harm to my family. And despite having no written permission or providing no development plans, the developer has continued attempting to perform work that impact my property. These are not minor administrative errors. They have real consequences. We had experienced multiple safety incidents. My car was damaged during the activities. My brother was confronted face-to-face in an aggressive manner by a member of the developer's team. And before I was intentionally hit by a tractor, the police had already been called to the site. Officers responded, documented the situation, and warned that if they had to return, someone would be arrested. Even after the warning, the developer's team continued operating equipment dangerously close to my property, and I was later hit by the tractor, and I had to go to the hospital for knee and leg pain. No property owner should ever have to experience this. We understand the need for revitalization, but not at the extent of trying to take property rights through aggressive, unsafe behavior. The city has already approved plans without our consent and has now chosen not to intervene, even though these issues stem from city errors. My family is committed to redeveloping our properties We want to contribute to the future of San Marcos. So I'm asking, why is the city not helping us? Which city council member is here willing to stand up for a property owner who has followed every rule? And Mayor, respectively, your leadership matters. You have not reached out or acknowledged the harm that has occurred. Why not? I believe in this community, I believe in fairness, and I believe in growth should never become at the cost of safety, transparency, or property rights. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Santos. Helen, can we make sure we keep a pulse on exactly what's going on in this situation?
The city will continue to follow up and will continue to correspond and will continue to respond to Mrs. Santos.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, next up is John Mosier, and then we do have two other speakers after Mr. Mosier, and that will be Natalie Aguilar, followed by Marlene Walder.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Michelle, Helen, Phil. Happy New Year. Unfortunately, I missed you guys in November when I wanted to be here. I wanted to personally thank you guys for going ahead and extending the moratorium to protect the senior mobile home parks and see if we can make our way through that. I was going to say, Rebecca and Ed, as you guys continue to grow, this will be an issue that you'll keep hearing. It will be coming up at the county. I've got the paperwork there. I sent it there last year. We'll start pushing it this year, and we're doing it around the state. At the same time, last year, SB 79 passed and created problems for a lot of cities. Right now, they're actively putting bills through to make adjustments and changes to it. SB 722 was just in a hearing last Tuesday, and in it, we have a section in there that goes back in and takes mobile home parks out of the equation. So it protects mobile home parks from being developed or being developed underneath SB 79. I know Michael mentioned you guys are at the point now to where you're considering your support for different bills in the legislative session that we're into now. So I'd like to ask you for your support of 722. I'm in contact with other people that I'm looking for a letter that's going to be given to different mayors of cities directly impacted, and I think Vista's one in our county, and I'm waiting to get that in my hands that I can go ahead and share with everybody as to get the mayors of different cities to send letters in the support to protect our mobile home parks. Thank you all.
Thank you, John. Next up is Natalie Aguilar, followed by Marlene Walder.
Hello. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Natalia Aguilar. I'm a community educator with Universidad Popular, and I'm here to provide our on-the-record updates. Happy New Year. First is our update on the community pantry. In this year, we continue to serve community members in our area. We continue to see an increased need and demand for food, housing, transportation, and other critical needs, especially among community members, elders, agricultural workers, and neighbors. Donations are always welcome at our pantry. Food items of special need include dry beans, rice, salt, oil, flour, and maseca. Second is my regular update on the civics program. Today, January 13th, we start another year of our civics initiatives, which includes our comprehensive citizenship classes. They are currently held Tuesdays from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at San Marcos Elementary on 1 Tiger Way. And save the date, our graduation will be held on Friday, November 13th, 2026 this year. And then third is the Cesar Chavez Day of Service. That'll be coming up Friday, March 27, 2026. And that'll be our fourth time hosting the Cesar Chavez Day of Service in collaboration with the sister colleges, CSUSM, Palomar College, and Miracosta College, as well as our partners at Restoration Abbey, the Community Action Group, and the local community. Thank you, and I hope you have a good evening.
Thank you, Natalie. Next up is Marlene Walder.
I had a paper to go with it.
Oh, if you could just,
Okay.
oh, we've got it. Yep. Thank you.
Start with October 2014, and then on the other side, it's more. Okay, thank you, Mayor and all council members. I would like to bring up a bill, and it's just in general. Mine is the lowest bill probably in our park because I'm very conservative in what I use. So it's not really showing you what other people use, but I have my bills back 40 years when I started out at paying $265 a month for rent, including utilities were separate. I'm showing the utility bill because if you go to the very first column on all of these, it's our electric bill. We went to the council's meeting, or San Marcos action meeting that they had about the new electric being where you're going to do the electric and San Diego Gas and Electric will do the billing. It was told to us that the average person would pay $19 a month towards San Diego Gas and Electric. And it's confusing here maybe, but the electric, I could do this, well, back baseline was $2.42 a minus. I don't quite understand the one in 214. There were other things there, but some months they bill me different than other months, and I haven't figured out why. But then it jumps to $29, $38, $50, $32, $24, and I'm not sure if the baseline is the number or if it is the other baseline. One's a distribution charge and one is it's charged to San Diego Gas and Electric. And I thought it was the second charge, the general, which I could be wrong, but even so, none of them are $19. And these are all bills since the electric has started with the new city paying them. And the problem is that the bills for most people, they're in the $400 range for electric, and I'm low. And if I'm paying even, one says $87. If I'm paying $87, what are they paying?
So it's not specifically the city, and Councilmember Nunez is actually our representative on that, so maybe she could help you get to some of the, have someone from the consumer, well, CCE reach out to you, so maybe.
Marlene, we'll talk. We'll schedule a meeting to go over this. Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you.
Is this your bill, or your
It happens to be my particular bill,
Okay.
but it's not showing what the average person in our park pays.
Is this,
If you know,
is this monthly?
huh?
Is it monthly?
It's monthly, yeah.
Okay.
And I put dates down. I'm missing dates. I was going to try to take all of November, but I couldn't find all my November bills. I'm not very good with housekeeping.
I'm not familiar with what you operate in your house, but this seems very high to me.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of curious too.
Well,
This seems
there's also a baseline, which it says it's 130% over the baseline, so I don't know what the baseline
Yeah.
actually is.
And mine's low because I have the medical baseline because I have a lot of medical equipment that I use. And I'm still lower than most people who have a CPAP and other breathing machines also. And so I'm low. I don't have Project Care, but I do have the medical. And so when I say people have $400 and $700 electric bills, they're in older mobile homes where the insulation is not as good.
Okay, so since this isn't agendized, we
gotcha.
just need to
Yep.
be careful. So we will, I'm looking down, I can't see Mrs. Peak, luckily. Okay. So anyway, Councilmember Nunez, you guys will
Marlene, I'll
connect.
coordinate a meeting with you. I have your contact information.
Okay, moving on to new business. We have some vacancies on our commissions. So we're going to start with the Climate Action Plan Working Group. We have one regular position that's open. That is Rebecca Rossler, but she is reapplying. Is Rebecca here this evening? Hi. Oh, there you are. If you don't mind coming up and just telling us what you like about it, and since you want to stay on there. Thank you for coming this evening, by the way.
Absolutely. All right. Good evening, Mayor Jones, City Council, staff, and community members. I am honored to seek reappointment to the Climate Action Plan Working Group. I have served on this body since July 2022 after completing a master's in resilient and sustainable communities. This past session, I have served as the chair. Professionally, my career has been rooted in international development, which has only deepened my commitment to climate action at the local level. Climate change is global, but I believe solutions are built community by community. Serving on this working group has allowed me to put this perspective into action while representing my neighbors. Through my work, I've seen firsthand how climate impacts fall hardest on those who have contributed least to the problems. I have shared stories of farmers in Turkana, Kenya, learning climate-smart agriculture as prolonged drought reshapes their livelihoods. I've witnessed team members step in to provide humanitarian aid to families displaced by catastrophic flooding in Malawi. Our country in Haiti recently lost his home during Hurricane Melissa. These individuals and communities have incredibly small carbon footprints, yet they are hit with the consequences of our daily decisions and collective global greenhouse emissions. As climate-driven disasters get closer to homes, such as the fires in LA and flooding in San Diego, local engagement is not just important, but urgent. I am grateful to live in California, where climate leadership is shaped at the state level and implemented locally. Over the past several years, I've been deeply encouraged by San Marcos's efforts, such as reworking building codes, sourcing renewable energy through CEA, and diverting green waste from the landfills. It has been an honor to contribute to these conversations and to ensure community voices remain part of the process. As the city moves forward with revising the current climate action plan, one theme has consistently emerged in our working group discussions, and that is the need for stronger community engagement and education. If we are to make meaningful progress, climate action must extend beyond policy and into everyday decisions made by residents, businesses, and institutions. Further leveraging the CAP working group as a bridge between the city and the community is a clear opportunity for growth and impact. So I continue to stay engaged and informed through local learning opportunities, such as participating in the San Diego Climate Week and the Water Authority's Citizens Water Academy. I also coordinate volunteer days with the Agrarian Institute, where we're implementing regenerative agricultural methods while donating food to our neighbors in need. So thank you for your consideration and for the opportunity to continue serving San Marcos.
Thank you, Rebecca. I had one quick question for you. Do people actually show up to the meetings, or how's that sort of engagement? Because you were talking a little bit about the community being more included. Are they showing up to the meetings, or no?
They are not. And
Do you know why? Do we have any thoughts on that?
I have a feeling that it is a little known group that is not very well known. And I think if we had more of a presence at community events or activities, that we could further engage the community, or even introduce initiatives such as like tree planting or outreach events like that have that environmental impact that can further engage people into the city's work within the Climate Action Plan.
Well, I would love to hear some of your thoughts. So if you don't mind shooting me an
Yes.
email, I would love to hear back about what you think could
would be
happen.
great.
Because we do have opportunities. I mean, we have every year at the street fairs, at the chamber puts on at North City, which, by the way, North City is very interested in, being sustainable and all of that.
Right.
So that might be an opportunity to have a presence at something like that. So let's talk about that.
Yes.
If you're reappointed this evening. Sorry, I guess I
working
shouldn't
group
jump
would
ahead
love
of
that
myself.
as well. So, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank
right.
you so much, appreciate it. Next up is Arturo Rico. Welcome, Arturo.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and council members. Thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself and considering my application to the San Marcos Planning Commission. My name is Arturo Rico, and San Marcos is a city I deeply care about. I've lived and actively been involved in this community for many years, and I genuinely want to see it continue to grow in a thoughtful, responsive, and inclusive way. Over the past 12 years, I have been involved with city commissions in various capacities, the first 10 being in Traffic Commission, and the last 2 being in the Planning Commission as an alternate. This has given me a strong understanding of how local government works and important collaboration and public input, and seeing how those are important for both the public and Traffic Commission. This experience has allowed me to observe firsthand the complexities of land use decisions and balance between growth and preservation of resources. From an education standpoint, I have a strong analytical and people-focused background. I hold 2 bachelor's degrees, one in finance and one in psychology, as well as an MBA. This combination has helped me to understand both numbers behind the development decisions and the human impact those decisions have on our neighborhoods and businesses and families. Professionally, I've spent over 20 years in finance-related roles. My career has trained me to evaluate data and assess risk and think long-term and look for opportunities to improve systems and processes. I believe these skills translate directly to the work of the Planning Commission or any commission that I should be considered for. Planning is not just about zoning and policies, it's about shaping the future of our city. So ultimately, my motivation for serving is quite simple. I deeply care about San Marcos, always have, and want to see our city succeed economically while maintaining character and quality of life. I'm committed to serving with integrity and preparation and with the respect for the residents and stakeholders that we represent. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Arturo.
Yep.
I have,
Oh, I'm
Madam,
sorry,
if I
yes,
may.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a question. I do know that in your service, we have that you had 0 out of 8 briefings. Is that correct?
So before, for the, going.
I see for the Planning Commission.
Yeah.
Is that something that you find that
Well,
it's not necessary for you, or
no.
that, is it a time
Each of
constraint,
those-
or?
Most of it has been with time constraints, just time, if I can make it before the actual meeting, but usually I've been serving in an alternative capacity. So as I go through this, if I'm serving an alternate one, I'd like to participate in those briefings. But as I usually, when those happen, it felt like I was going in just as an alternate and just listening in on those conversations.
Thank you for that clarification.
I actually want to follow up on that too, but go ahead, Councilmember.
Arturo and I served together on the Traffic Commission, it seems like many, many years ago. Thank you again for your continued service. So that is a kind of a continuation of Councilmember Nunez. Are we, maybe for the city manager, are we being very specific on the alternates attendings, the briefings, as well as the meetings? 'Cause I know for a while we were not tracking their attendance at the meetings.
I believe that we're tracking both the briefing and the attendance, and our planning director is offering the opportunity to everybody.
Okay, thank you. So,
Oh yeah, sorry.
please go ahead.
Yeah, in my situation, as long as the meeting, because I work full-time, so as long as the meeting's before or in the evenings, but usually if there's some sort of meeting that happens like midday, that's usually harder for me to go to.
So I do have a clarification. So are these Are these briefings happening one for all the commissioners, or is there flexibility in that?
Yes, there's flexibility. Our planning director, I believe, reaches out to the commissioners to get their availability to see when they're available to brief. Obviously, it sounds like there are some time constraints here, but the offer is being made.
Thank you for that.
And, and just to, follow up on that too, because I had actually asked staff specifically, because we were having this issue a while back and where people walked into a meeting as an alternate, not prepared to actually vote. And, I serve on SANDAG, I serve on SANDAG Regional Planning, SANDAG Board of Directors, and then also SANDAG Executive Meeting. I probably have to read more than anyone else here. And that's not to disparage anyone. But I always make sure that I'm prepared for every meeting because I think, when I have to make a decision, I want to make sure I'm fully prepared. I'm glad you brought it up, but to be honest, I know that staff is very flexible in when you would be able to have your briefing, that it would be tailored around your schedule, and the fact that you have not attended any meeting actually gives me great concern, because if you have to jump in as an alternate, and I look at, the attendance for all of the meetings of all of the members, there have only been 2 members that have shown up to every single meeting. I'm sorry, 3 members that have shown up to every meeting. So that means that there are 8 meetings. So that means 5 meetings needed an alternate to actually pop in and be prepared and be ready to do that. The other thing is when when we're interviewing candidates, I always bring up the fact that as an alternate, you need to make sure that you show up and you're prepared to vote, because again, we already know 5 out of 8 meetings, someone needed to jump in. And, there were a couple of meetings, I don't know exactly, but at least probably there were 2 people missing, where there needed to be, or could be, I guess it doesn't specifically mean that. But in my opinion, I just really think it's important for Planning Commission, especially because we have so much interest in that. It's a very highly sought after commission. To not show up to the briefings really concerns me. I just need you to know that. So,
Can I jump in for 1 second, Mayor?
Yeah, please do.
Just to clarify, the mayor and I were talking about this earlier. As you come up to speak, it will be giving a presentation on any of the commissions or committees that you've applied for. So Mr. Rico was talking about planning, but it goes across the spectrum, although at the moment we're looking at climate action. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, thank
correct.
you.
Yes, but he's been on planning and hasn't come to the briefing or scheduled a briefing. And I think they could do that via telephone or in person or Zoom or Teams or.
Yes, I've confirmed with Joe Faraci that
Okay.
it's available virtual, in person,
Okay.
anytime.
Okay, okay, all right, okay. I'm letting you know I'm concerned about it, so. Okay, all right, thank you for your service. Okay. So, all right, so on our Climate Action Plan Working Group, I would propose that we appoint Rebecca Rossler to remain on that as a regular position. And thank you for your service, and you seem very well-versed. I appreciate that, and be sure to follow up with me if you don't mind. I appreciate
need a
that.
second,
That's
a
my
second.
motion. So we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Seeing none, motion passes. Congratulations, and definitely reach back out to me. Okay, Parks and Rec, we have one regular position and 1 alternate position, and we have several applicants. We have Angelica Garcia, who's reapplying. If you are here today, Angelica, welcome. Tell us what you like about the commission, and thank you also for your service.
Are we on? Yes. Hello. Thank you, Council and Mayor, for allowing me to speak today. I have served as an alternate on the San Marcos Parks and Recs Commission for a year. A lot of exciting meetings, a lot of understanding or better understanding of the inner workings of the partnerships with Parks and Recs. It's an octopus, right? It's a hub, but it touches on so many components of the community. What I like the most is my ability to really listen, but also provide feedback as a community member, a parent, someone who's benefited from the programming, from enrichment, and just from living here. And also being a voice or an advocate for the community that doesn't necessarily maybe show up for the meetings, but they're out there, we know they're out there, and you really kind of just focusing on the multi-language community at large.
Okay, all right, thank you so much, Angelica. Next up, we already heard from Arturo. Jay Franklin. Did I see? There you are.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. Good evening, Mayor Jones, members of City Council and City staff. Thank you for your time and your continued service to our community. As they say, time flies when you're having fun, and let me tell you, I have had the great honor of serving as Commissioner and Chairperson for Parks and Rec for these last 4 years. My favorite thing with the Commission is we get to analyze and ask questions about participation and trends in classes like enrichment, fitness, sports classes, aquatics, camps, senior activities like lunches and assistance with transportation and field reservations. While not a comprehensive list of those we hear from on the regular and field questions on a monthly basis, pun intended, the Commission regularly hears from San Marcos Youth Baseball, San Marcos Girls Softball, San Marcos Lacrosse, San Aleo, AYSO, American Youth Sports Organization 1505, San Marcos AYSO 127, San Marcos Pop Warner, Legends FC, Soccer Club, Football Club, AKA Soccer, SD North, FC Seoul, San Marcos Youth Basketball, City SC Soccer Club, San Marcos, and NFL Football. Always the educator, I have emphasized the importance of proactive and transparent communication with the community. We often suggest using social media and other forms of communication to educate our residents about parks and field closures, not just announcing them, but explaining the why behind those closures even happen, so that the community can understand the long-term benefits to field quality. For example, preventing overuse and allowing the new turf the adequate time to grow so that the fields can get ready to take a beating from our youth sports participation. For parks and facility naming, we have assisted in formalizing the recommendation to City Council to refresh the outdated facility naming policy, highlighting the need to stay true to the policy's purpose, ensuring transparency, and reinforce that the process is for the people. What I especially enjoy is marrying what I do for the city with what I do for Cal State San Marcos. As the MC for families for all incoming first-year and transfer students, I not only welcome them to the campus, I get to share my excitement about San Parcos to thousands of families and support systems at orientation, highlighting a few of my personal favorites like Double Peak Park, and reminding families that they can get community service hours and internships with parks and recreation facilities. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have about my reapplication, and if I don't have that answer, I know that Parks and Rec staff are behind me to assist in finding that answer for you.
Well, I just thank you for your excitement about our city and the parks. You know, I know all of us are passionate about it too, and we really appreciate your service. Any questions for Jay today?
I just have a comment. It's great to see you, Commissioner, and Scott out in the trail, so hopefully you'll be back to joining us soon.
We will.
Okay, all right, thank you. Next up is, let's see, Lindsay Smith. Welcome.
That is going to be a tough act to follow. Well, Happy New Year, Mayor Jones, Deputy Mayor Sinella, council members, and city staff. Thank you for the opportunity to be considered for appointment to a city commission. My name is Lindsay Smith, and I'm applying because I care deeply about San Marcos. Not just as a resident, but as a parent and a volunteer, and someone who has spent many years working in our community to support connection, safety, and community spaces. For more than a decade, I worked as a regional facility manager, responsible for long-term planning, capital improvement projects, maintenance strategies, and operational oversight across multiple facilities. That role required thinking ahead and planning, and understanding how decisions made early affect safety, functionality, and cost over time, balancing growth with existing infrastructure, and coordinating across departments, contractors, and stakeholders to ensure projects were implemented thoughtfully and responsibly. In my community leadership roles as a local HOA president and a Fire Safe Council president, I've continued to work at the intersection of planning, policy, and community needs. That includes reviewing design standards, navigating land use considerations, planning infrastructure improvements, and working collaboratively with city staff, departments, and first responders. These roles have taught me the importance of listening first, balancing different perspectives, and follow through, especially when decisions affect families, infrastructure, and our public spaces. I am a mom raising 3 children here. I see how thoughtful planning, maintenance, and programming directly affect families, infrastructure, and our public spaces, and the quality of life across our city. While Parks and Recreation is my preferred commission, I'm very open to serving wherever I can be most helpful. Planning and the Community Foundation both play important roles in supporting a well-run, forward-looking city, and my background in facilities management, community engagement, nonprofit leadership, fundraising, grant writing, and long-term planning would translate well to either. Above all, my approach is grounded in maintaining safe and well-managed neighborhoods, making thoughtful and responsible decisions, and strengthening the connections that bring our community together. If appointed, I will listen carefully, I will prepare thoroughly, and I will work collaboratively and with the goal of supporting the strong foundation that San Marcos already has. I would be honored to serve in any capacity and to contribute wherever my skills are most useful. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Lindsay.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Councilmember.
Lindsay, you're a candidate for City of San Marcos City Council for District 2. Does your application today, does that present a conflict?
I don't believe so. I think if anything, it helps prepare me for the role of City Council because it will give me some more understanding of the inner workings of the city and processes, procedures, departments.
Okay, thank you for that. Are you endorsed by Mayor Rebecca Jones for your candidacy for District 2 City Council?
I am.
Okay, and you're endorsed by Deputy Mayor Sanella?
I am. And Councilmember Ed Musgrove and Councilmember Daniel LeBlanc have all endorsed me.
Okay, thank you for that.
Sure, thank you for asking.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Marie Marcinko. Welcome.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor Jones and council members, and Happy New Year. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. It seems really loud. I'm seeking reappointment as an alternate member to the San Marcos Planning Commission. My way of background, I've lived in San Marcos for 8 years and previously served on the Business Review Committee for 3 years, including 2 years as committee chair. That experience provided me with valuable insight into the city's operations and a strong appreciation for the many departments and roles involved in the city's day-to-day functions. Professionally, I work in sales, not exciting, I know, managing multiple biotech accounts, which has strengthened my ability to analyze information and communicate effectively with different types of personalities and skill sets. Serving as an alternate on the Planning Commission this past year has been incredibly rewarding. I've learned a tremendous amount. It gave me meaningful insight into the city's planning process and the importance of community-focused decision-making as our city continues to grow. I valued the opportunity to observe and participate in the discussions and grasp a better understanding of how the city's planning and process works, the level of collaboration, and the consideration required to balance growth. I would be grateful for the opportunity to continue serving as an alternate for another year, building on the experience I've gained and contributing to the Commission's work. I appreciate the trust you have placed in me and respectfully ask the Council for your consideration for reappointment. And thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay, so wait, one quick question. So we're on Parks and Rec. That is your second choice, correct?
Second choice, yeah.
Yes. Okay, perfect. All right, I just was double checking on that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Marie. So I would propose on Parks and Rec, we have one regular, one alternate. My My choice would be to keep Jay Franklin as a regular and then Angelica Garcia as an alternate. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Seeing none. Okay. Moving on to Planning Commission. And we have 4 regular positions and 2 alternate positions. And we have several applicants. We will start out with Allison Stanton. Welcome, Allison.
The lucky, starting with A, I always get to go first. My name is Allison Stanton. I've called San Marcos home for the last 7 years. I live in a community that was built just about 8 years ago, so I understand and have personally benefited from new development. That perspective allows me to approach planning conversations with honesty, balance, and an appreciation for both opportunity and impact. I'm here tonight because I believe planning is where the future of this city is quietly decided. Not in the headlines, but in details, traffic studies that reflect reality, developments that reflect and respect neighborhoods, and policies that balance housing needs with environmental responsibility. I currently serve as president of my HOA board, and I previously served as treasurer. In those roles, I manage budgets, oversee contracts, enforce state-mandated regulations, and most importantly, listen to residents who want to be heard and understood. I've learned quickly that good governance isn't about being loud. It's about being prepared, asking the right questions, and making decisions that hold up 6 months later. Professionally, I work as a principal consultant leading complex payroll and compliance systems for large organizations. That means I spend my days translating requirements and policy into systems that actually work, spotting risks, managing stakeholders, and making sure processes don't fail quietly behind the scenes. That same discipline is exactly what I would bring to the Planning Commission. If appointed, I would focus on 3 priorities. First, purposeful growth. That we must meet our housing obligations, but not at the expense of safety, infrastructure, or quality of life. Development must integrate wildfire resilience, water-wise design, and preservation of open space. Secondly, mobility of neighborhood safety. E-bikes, pedestrian access, school zones, congestion, and cut-through traffic are real issues in our neighborhoods. I will push for planning decisions that acknowledge how people actually move throughout the city every day. Third, transparency. Residents deserve to understand what's being proposed and why it matters. Clear communication builds trust, and trust is the foundation of an effective government that is supported by the community. I'm not seeking this appointment as a resume builder. I'm seeking it because I love this city and I understand the weight of these decisions, and I'm ready to do the work between meetings. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Allison. Next up, Arturo already spoke. Fatima Guerrero. Fatima, I have a weird question.
Yes.
Is your last name different?
Yes, it is.
You got married.
I
I thought
did.
so. Okay, congratulations. I
Thank
was like,
you.
I didn't remember that being your last name.
That was in my speech tonight because I have
Oh,
to
sorry,
clarify
sorry
that.
to blow it for you.
It's all good.
Congratulations, though.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have the same question, so thank you for asking it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
See, inquiring minds want to know.
So, good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Fatima Guerrero, previously Rios. I got married this last summer. And I'm a resident of District 1, and I've been the Planning Commission chairperson for the last 2 years. I come to you seeking reappointment to the Planning Commission. For the last 5 years, I've learned intensively from fellow commissioners and our devoted planning staff. It's amazing to be able to drive down the street and see a project that was once on paper. In my profession, I'm a risk and safety analyst for the City of Encinitas, and I always bring the risk mitigating skills from my profession to the planning projects here with San Marcos. If reappointed, I would like to focus on improving economic growth for small and large businesses through our land use and development, while also seeking to meet our housing needs. Over the last few years, I've learned so much that I think now, after a few years, and I'm sure you guys experience this too, you start learning the language, you start understanding all the acronyms. So I feel confident going forward if I continue in this commission. So I value my time with the commission, and I hope to be able to continue supporting my fellow commissioners along with our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Oh, we already got the answer. Okay. Next up is, let's see here, John Whiter. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Jones, Deputy Mayor Sinella, City Council, and City staff. My name is John Whiter. I want to thank you for the opportunity to present my background, qualifications, and reason to serve on the San Marcos Planning Commission. I'd like to start my background with family. I've been married to an incredibly beautiful and loving woman for 38 years.
She's blushing, just so you know.
I'm a father of 3 adult children, grandfather of 4, with one expected in March. Luckily for me, all of my immediate family is here in northern San Diego area. I began my career in construction and later owned a small self-employed business. Construction has been a backbone of my career, my entire career. In 1986, I earned my California State Licensing Board license as a painting contractor and worked with my father and brother building spec homes. This gave me insight on community planning and development, incorporating smaller communities within cities and counties to the schools, parks, and open spaces. As a young boy, I dreamt of being a firefighter. So with my wife's consent, I continued my business, went to school to become a paramedic, and volunteered as a reserve firefighter. I was then hired by the city of Salinas as a firefighter paramedic, and recently have retired as a captain paramedic with 28 years of fire service. During that time, I instructed firefighters in building construction at junior college and local academies. As a firefighter, I was continuously reminded of the importance of constructing residential and commercial buildings to the highest fire prevention building codes. Much of San Marcos resides on wildland-urban interface. I find the implementation of fire mitigation plans and fire modification zones during the planning stage are an integral step in helping to reduce fire conflagration probabilities. As the vice president of the Skylark community, I have had and continue to have opportunity to work with multiple agencies, reinforcing the importance of collective cooperation in building a thriving community. In conclusion, my wife and I relocated to San Marcos for its small town yet modern feel and unique culture. I believe it is important to maintain sustainable development, balancing the benefits of growth, residential, commercial, our public resources, while maintaining a high quality of life, our parks, trails, ridgeline, and natural resources. The City Council's mission states our vision is to continue building the finest city in the region. I envision this also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Kevin Norris. Welcome.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, city staff. Happy New Year to all. I've been a San Marcos resident since 1999. I'm recently retired, associate engineer at UCSD, where I was a project manager on capital improvement projects. I'm applying for another term, probably my last term. My previous experience on the Planning Commission is I have been chair and vice chair. I've served with a number of great people. Also, I have experience with general plan update, I'm waiting for the second one to come in, not sure when that's going to happen. The Climate Action Plan, the Creek District, current and past developments. I also serve on the Climate Action Plan Working Group, and there was some good discussion earlier, and I look forward to that this coming year. The Clean Energy Alliance as a Community Advisory Committee, so it'd be nice to chat with the person that was having problems with their bill. I'd like to help her with that if I can. I'd like to continue to work on the Creek Plan, on the Planning Commission subcommittee. There's a lot going on there, some good review. And so it's just planning the future of the city. It's really, really fortunate to have that opportunity to do that. I have experience and insight with developers and city planning, and it's been an honor serving on the Planning Commission, having an input on the future of San Marcos, kind of behind-the-scene resident overseeing the growth of San Marcos, how we grow. I understand our RENA and our numbers that we have to do, and I'm really hands-off to our planning department on what we've been doing a lot, especially with low income, meeting all those. I've also had the pleasure of working with great commissioners, both past and current, also city managers, planning directors, and mayors, quite a few. So I'd like to continue to pass down my experience to the new commissioners. I'd really appreciate serving another term.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. I do have one question for you.
Sure.
You missed a few meetings.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a little bit earlier because I called you into the principal's office. No, I'm kidding.
You did, yeah, I know. It's not the first time.
Because and we talked about it, how important. So if you could tell the rest of the council just what you told me about retiring
Right.
and how that, he was so lucky he got to get some vacation time
I had to
in.
take the vacation time
Yeah.
to use it up. So, I was told by my boss that we were going to go take it and use it, so I had to. So, just go back to the meeting with the director before. That was one thing I really, helped, I think, start years ago, just going in and talking to the planning director ahead of time and it's great. And I'm glad that you're standing up for that because it really gives people a lot of insight. You can read, you can kind of go over things, but when you meet with the director, there's just so much you can learn. And there are different means and methods, technology, you can meet with them before the meeting, and they're very accommodating. And Gina puts out the, every month, she's really great. Putting everything out, and then Joe will come back and ask to meet. So it's organized. It's a good system. We have a good planning department. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for bringing up your comments about RENA too.
Yes.
As I always say, no one loves a
No,
mandate, a
don't.
state mandate, and neither do we. But we do want to provide housing for people. I just don't like the state telling us exactly what that's going to look like, and it has to be in this category. We don't actually build the housing, so
Right.
It's very complex. So I really do appreciate all the work that you put in
Yeah.
to really.
The accessible dwelling units, though, that's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
That's where we're getting the mandates from the state and the city, the planning department. They're getting blamed, and it's not them. It's the state. We have to go there and argue against that, not the city.
Yep, by right. We don't like that.
Right.
Okay. Next up is, we already heard from Lindsay Smith, so Lionel Salisbury. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff, community. My name is Lionel Salisbury. It has gone by really fast. I can't believe it's been a few years already. I've had the pleasure of serving on the Planning Commission for 2 years. I am now the vice chair in the Planning Commission, which has been great. It has been fantastic learning from the individuals that I got to sit next to. My background is service. I served in the Marine Corps for 22 years. When I retired, I went into education at the Army Navy Academy in Carlsbad as the Assistant Commandant of Cadet Life. And Then I moved here to San Marcos as far as work goes with a nonprofit, Project Next, which is an amazing nonprofit. Pleasure of serving with, helping our young people figure out what's next for them. And now I am a licensed insurance agent and podcaster and I guess event planner, trying to do things for the city. I serve as a chair of a nonprofit. I am also on the HOA the HOA in my community. One of the reasons why I'm so passionate about the Planning Commission is because I get to serve. I get to see the change and I get to be a part of that change. I get to learn about the inner workings of our city and how housing is impacting what's going on in our city. It's been a pleasure and I would love to be able to continue to serve. I moved here in San Marcos in 2019 with my family. I am a father of 6, and my hope is that when my last one all done, graduates college, he can stay here and become an active member of our community and our growing community. Thank you for the consideration and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lionel. Any questions? Okay, next up is, oh, we already heard from Marlene Marcinko. Mike Barnett is on back there. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Jones and members of the City Council, distinguished staff. Thank you for the opportunity to request reappointment to the Planning Commission. Serving on the commission has been both a privilege and a responsibility I take seriously. Planning at its best is not simply about approving buildings or meeting technical standards. It's about stewarding the long-term character of San Marcos so that it remains a premier city in which to live, work, learn, and play, both today and for generations to come. I am appreciative of the professionalism and leadership of our planning director, Joseph Faraci, and his very capable staff, whose steady guidance and commitment to excellence set a high bar for thoughtful, lawful, and community-centered planning. I am equally grateful for my fellow commissioners who bring diverse perspectives, diligence, and respect to every decision we make. If reappointed, I will strive to maintain my perfect attendance record at both the meetings and preparation briefings and continue to approach this role with independence, care, and a strong commitment to balanced growth, public safety, housing opportunity, and quality of life for our residents. Thank you for your consideration and for your service to our city. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Barnett? Seeing none, thank you. Thank you for your service too. Okay, so we have on this 4 regular positions and 2 alternate positions. So I would like to nominate Kevin Norris to return, Fatima, Lionel, and Mike Barnett. Do you need me to say their last names? Okay. As regular members, and then reappoint Marie Marcinko as an alternate, and then Lindsay Smith as an alternate. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, but I also want to say to Fatima, I sent Amy, my wife, a text message letting her know they got married. She said congratulations. My wife was one of Fatima's educators.
I was just going to ask, was she one of her teachers? I love that.
Principal or assistant principal or something.
Yeah. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Seeing none. Now, I do want to say one thing. Everyone that has applied this evening, if you weren't selected, please don't let that deter you, and please show up to the meeting so you can familiarize yourself. And everyone that has been appointed this evening, I'm not going to be here next year, but Deputy Mayor Sinella may be in this seat, but I know for sure, well, I guess I don't know for sure anyone else is going to be here, except for Councilmember LeBlanc, which she's not here this evening, but she is watching via Zoom this evening. But it's really important for you to show up and get ready and prepared for those meetings. There's a lot of information, oftentimes thousands of pages. You need to be prepared, and you need to be able to, as an alternate, be able to jump into that seat. It's really important. I mean, I would never ask someone to do something that I don't do myself. When I show up to Sandag, I'm prepared because I want to vote properly for you with all of the information, and I can't do that if I'm not actually doing the prep work. So anyway, I just want to make sure that everyone knows, please do your briefings with staff. It's so important. If you are not prepared, it's very tough to try to figure out without a staff's perspective, because there's so many laws that are out there that affect each and every decision that we have to make via, especially on land use. So anyway, I want to make sure everyone understands that so much deeply. And then moving on to Community Foundation, we have two regular positions that are open. So we need to hear from our applicants this evening. That would be Carol Gandel is reapplying. So Carol, come on down. There you are.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council and everybody who's watching from home. I want to take one quick second to confirm what the Mayor said about alternates. Last year, we added an alternate to the Community Foundation, and the day after she was confirmed, she came to the meeting just because she wanted to see what was going on, and we were short a member. So she jumped on immediately and has been a valuable member. So it's no joke, alternates really matter, and when they show up, it can really make the difference between holding a meeting and not holding a meeting.
And, you know, one thing, if we could just restart the clock, thanks. One thing that also is very important to know is sometimes staff thinks that everyone's showing up. Emergencies happen, and that's why it's so important to be able to jump into that seat, fully prepared to make those decisions. So anyway, thank you very much for that comment, Carol.
Glad to do it. So I'm here tonight to ask for one more opportunity to serve our city as a member of the San Marcos Community Foundation Board. When I first applied for this board, I thought I understood what it did and how it impacts our community. But only after serving for the last 6+ years have I truly come to understand what a profound impact for good, relatively small grants can have. As you know from our last annual report, we've worked with Cal State San Marcos Business School to develop strategic and marketing plans, and we're now beginning to implement the recommendations. I'd like to take these next 2 years, along with the amazing board you have helped us to assemble, to launch and build on those efforts to put in place a long-term growth plan, creating a donor pool of both individuals and city businesses. Just this last month, at the end of the year, we received 2 significant donations from community members, and I hope those are only the beginning. But as I also mentioned, this will be my last term, as I believe it's time to start mentoring a new group of board leaders and volunteers, and I am the first to admit that nobody is indispensable, including myself. So I will be working with our city staff and current board to help identify community members who might want to step up, along with building a robust advisory council that taps content experts all around our city and county who can help us grow and fulfill the hopes of the city founders who created the foundation 38 years ago. I would be happy to answer any questions, and I thank you.
Thank you. I actually have a very off-topic question for you. So Stephanie Bussin, you mentioned that she jumped in on the first meeting. She had to, right after she was appointed. Okay.
She's been great.
And, okay, so she's fully engaged in the, okay, all right.
She is fully engaged as an alternate, but she is fully engaged in doing great work. She has visited many of the applicants, and we've got some great pictures of her doing check presentations. So I have to say she's been a fabulous addition to the team.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it, Carol. Any questions? Nope. Okay, seeing none. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Eliza King. Welcome.
Feels so short. Okay. Good evening. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. My name is Eliza, but those around me call me Z. I'm a San Marcos resident. I've been here for 4 years as a parent and as a professional who works closely with individuals and families navigating housing stability and access to supportive services. Through my work, I regularly see how nonprofit organizations and targeted funding can directly improve quality of life for community members across all ages and needs. Professionally, I bring experience in case management, housing coordination, and collaboration with nonprofit and public sector partners. This work has required me to review documentation, assess needs, and understand how funding decisions translate into measurable outcomes. It also gives me a strong appreciation for responsible grant management and the importance of supporting organizations that are effective, equitable, and deeply connected to the communities they serve. On a personal level, my interest in serving on the San Marcos Community Foundation Board comes from my lived experience. When I first came to San Marcos, I was homeless with my 2 children. I am also a former foster youth of San Diego County, so a lot of the programs that I participated in, I had now understand have been given grants through foundations like these. So over the past 4 years, as my family has settled and I've become more engaged in the community, I've seen firsthand how important nonprofit support, outreach, and accessibility are. That experience is what motivates me to serve. I want to ensure that families, especially those new to San Marcos, know that support is available and feel welcomed and connected to their community. Having benefited from community-based support earlier in my life, giving back to where I come from is very important to me. Serving on this board allows me to contribute with intention, appreciation, and a strong sense of responsibility. And I would see this as my role, as my way of giving back to families and the community, even though I wouldn't have some direct contact with them. I understand that the board's role is to the community. Through this process, I can help ensure that the foundation resources continue to strengthen organizations that make a real difference in residents' lives. It would be an honor to contribute my professional experience, community perspective, and commitment to this work. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Eliza. Any questions for Eliza? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Katie Krosky. I'm sorry, Croskery.
That's it?
Okay, sorry. I didn't have my glasses on when I first was saying it.
It's a
My
tongue
apologies.
twister, no problem. Good evening, Mayor and council members and city staff. I'm Katie Croskery, and I'm here to apply for an appointment to the San Marcos Community Foundation. I've lived in San Marcos for the past 20 years, and it is a remarkable place to live. I'm familiar with the foundation, both as a resident. I've seen and heard of the great work that the foundation has done with our local nonprofit organizations. And then I also know the foundation's work through my career. I am a semi-retired nonprofit executive, and I'm wrapping up just about a 30-year career in nonprofit leadership and organizations, and I believe my skills can be of value. I'd like to help spread the word about the good work of the foundation and make sure that the people in our city of San Marcos know of the work. And as Carol mentioned, even small donations and grants can make a difference for these organizations. I believe I can help spread the word and help raise additional funds for support of our hardworking nonprofit organizations. I want to thank you for your consideration, and I hope I can be of help.
Thank you so much. Any questions of Carol? Sorry. Katie, my apologies. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at my notes, and I'm... I know, Carol, you've got me all fuddled up here, darn it. Okay, well, I had asked Carol that question because I have a thought in my mind. We do have an alternate, which is Stephanie Bussin. So, Steph, just to keep me on my to keep you on your toes, My question is, if I were to propose that we move up our alternate, who is currently Stephanie Bussin, then we would have 2 regular term members and then 1 alternate. I'm sorry. So I could move up the alternate to the regular, and then I would have 1 more regular and 1 alternate. Okay. All right. So my proposal, if you all caught that, would be that we move Stephanie up to a regular member from an alternate, and then that would leave 1 regular, 1 alternate. And then to reappoint Carol as her, there you are. I was like, I don't know why I keep looking over there. I think normally you sit over there. To move up Carol as a regular member, and then I would like the alternate to be Eliza King. So that would be my proposal. Stephanie, oh, sorry.
I would second
Is that a second?
That
Okay,
gymnastic move.
So just to go through it one more time for staff, Stephanie Bussin as a regular, so that opens up an alternate. Carol Gendell as a regular, and then Eliza King as an alternate.
Second.
Okay, and we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And seeing no votes, if you were not selected this evening, I just want to reiterate, please make sure you apply. We continue we really need lots of help. And show up to the meetings. Find out something, find if there's something else, because we actually have budget review coming in June. We will have some openings on that coming up in June. And then, sometimes people leave, so then we need to fill the positions, because we definitely want to have alternates as well. So anyway, thank you for coming, and appreciate your spirit of wanting to serve in our community. And we look forward to having you all serve in our community. Thank you. Okay, any other discussion? You looked like you wanted to say something.
I was going to say almost
Go ahead.
exactly the same thing.
Okay.
So just wanted to thank everyone who came out and applied for the different commissions. That's how I first got started 20-plus years ago on the Planning Commission, and it's a great way to give back to the community, and it takes all of us up here and out there to make San Marcos great, and just so impressed with the resumes and the presentations, and everybody did a great job. So if you didn't get it this time, just want to encourage everyone, try again next year. I know just on the last one that we did at the Community Foundation, looks like there's going to be, my eyes are not working too good, about 5 openings next year at the end of 2026. So lots of opportunities, so don't give up. Come on back.
A quick comment about the alternates, the
Yes.
importance of attending all the meetings.
Yep.
I spent 5 years as a traffic commissioner, all 5 years as an alternate, and I sat up here, last time I checked, about 75% of the time, and it was almost always sitting in the audience, and then somebody couldn't make it at the last minute, but having read the briefings, able to jump in. So it is important to go to all the briefings. I did it as a planning commissioner for 3 years. You have to be aware of what's going on. You can't jump in the timeline cold. So it's extremely important for all the alternates to go to the briefings as well as the primary.
Okay, all right. Just making sure. Sorry, I have my head this way. I feel like it's so quiet down there. Okay, moving on to reports. At Sandag, we had a few things that happened. We changed our meetings, and we are now having Mr. Alternate, Deputy Mayor. We're having a retreat coming up. So make sure you get that in your calendar. If you can make 1 day or 2 days, part of a day, make sure you put that in there.
Just send me the dates.
Sounds good. Then we had a budget amendment, so we moved some money around for some tribal projects. It wasn't defunding anything, it was just moving it around so that we could get the earliest project done in a quicker manner. And then we had an overview of all of our accomplishments for the year, which there was actually quite a bit of it. And I don't know if I said this in the last meeting, but we approved our regional plan, our new regional plan in December. A really important element of that is that there's no road user tax fee or charge. And then also there is no conversion of any lanes on the 78 that are currently there to a toll road, which was something that was in the original plan in '22. And so that's really important to us in North County because we always, well, if we're not paying attention, it's hard to see that those things are happening. And then also we had, let's see, we talked about the disadvantaged business enterprise. That was an update, just information and FYI, because now with the changes in the federal law, we are going to have to comply with that. We're kind of in a watch and wait sort of situation on that because we're not really sure how that's going to translate into everything that we have in place right now. There's just too many changes that haven't been finalized. And then also, there was a closed session, which I can't talk about that. Not terrible news, but anyway, just some things happening behind the scenes. And with that, next up is League of California Cities, Councilmember Musgrove. And can I please have you discuss SB, is it 677?
I can
SB
only report back on the
677?
meeting, Mayor.
I'm sorry?
I can report back on the meeting,
What do you mean?
the meeting we had.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So this was our first meeting of the year, and so it was a reintroduction of division officers and our current president, Councilmember Nunez.
Congratulations
Followed by
again.
introductions of member representatives from the 18 cities and the county. So that's the electeds that are represented and also staff. An introduction of league partners who are also affiliate members, and they represent primarily our business and education community. We had an update on calendar for events in 2026, specifically the league conference, which will be in September in Anaheim. San Diego Community Power and Clean Energy Alliance provided an update. They talked about 3 particular areas, and that has to do with the differentiation between origination and transmission. So origination is the CCAs, and for us, it's clean energy. Transmission is still SDG&E. That may not help Marlene much when she looks at her bill, but that's the breakdown, and sometimes we are subject to what SDG&E says, including the fee we pay for separating out. Cal City's lobbyists gave us an update primarily on local control on energy policy, and these are issues of procurement, rates, efficiency programs, the state-generated consumer rebates, which are twice yearly, cap and trade, which is now cap and invest, to make it sound nicer, and that's extended by the governor, which was due to sunset in 2030. It is now 2045. And the mayors and council members' retreat is in January 21 through 23 in Sacramento, so that is coming up real quickly. Our next meeting is February 9th, excuse me, and that will be in person. Madam President, did I forget anything?
No, I think you did a great job summarizing, and I think one of the issues that we are seeing are issues of affordability with respect to our electricity rates. And so we want to make sure that we all have information, and we do expect to have our CEA and San Diego Community Power come back and present actually to the league. Both entities are going to be voting on rates this month. And so I'll just share now that we did confirm that our Clean Energy Alliance representatives will be here to present to us. And that's going to be at our February 24th meeting. So Marlene, we expect to see you here on that date.
With every one of those bills going back 20-plus years, you said.
I thought she said longer than that. 40. I'm just wondering why you don't have the most recent one when you have 40 years worth. It's there somewhere. It's connected to another one, probably stuck to it.
Well, in all seriousness, you have time, Marlene, to put those together and locate the most current ones for our February 24th meeting. And
Mayor, I'm sorry, Mayor, you mentioned AB 677?
Is it AB? I don't know.
Or-
677, the one that takes SB 79 and puts it on steroids. So SB 79 is 7 stories by right? Isn't that right?
Yes.
7 stories by right, if it's within a certain distance of transit. So that wasn't enough. So now, is it SB 677 or AB 677?
Well, that would
I don't know if
SB,
it's an assembly bill.
Senator Weiner, so it's probably
Oh,
an
SB 677, which takes 7 and makes it 12. So we're watching that very closely. I know Michael, our legislative analyst, is watching it very closely. I am actually beside myself over this one. It just, you know, I said, well, it used to be SB, I think it was 50 back in the day, that was going to be 5 stories by right. Then it went to SB 79, which is 7 stories by right. Now SB 677 is 12 stories by right. I don't know when they're going to stop, but this is why it's so important at the state level to vote for local control and to stop the legislature from these crazy ideas that take away our land use authority and make things by right. I just, absolutely, I don't think anyone up here ever, you know, I don't think any of us agree with this philosophy of just high density. And the problem is, you know, we have a situation right now with a project that hasn't happened yet. They have not submitted, but it is literally 6 stories tall next to single-story residential homes. And no parking pretty much. I mean, I think it's down to 116 units, and they want to put in 45 parking spaces. You can do the math on that, not even close to enough. Most folks have 2 cars, so even if you were to have 2 cars, I mean, think about that, 116, not even close to having the right amount of actual space for cars. So where are they going to park? On the adjacent neighborhood, on the street, as far as you can see, because that's how many cars we're talking about. So deteriorating the quality of life for everyone. So this upsets me. So I hope you guys are watching this closely. We don't want it. But, and I know our analyst Michael's really watching it, but this is not okay. So really important for you at home, if you're here today, state senate, state assembly, and governor, because the governor has the right to veto it. But these 2 legislative houses are really eroding our quality of life with the mandated housing. Did I say enough?
No, you got it right. And that may be, Michael, I'm not sure, but that might be a 2-year bill, so it could be a carryover, which, yeah, it is. Thank you. That's why it kind of died a little.
If I may add, the league is having its committee meetings next week in Sacramento, so I'll make sure that this is part of the discussion. I'm sure it will be.
We will definitely have a letter in opposition. If it hasn't already been crafted, don't worry, it'll be crafted, it will be signed. It is, it's just ridiculous what they're doing. I mean, seriously, it's just over the top. So anyway, I'm sorry I say this every single meeting, but it's very frustrating to us. And yeah. Anyway, North County Transit District, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, we meet on Thursday, but we actually did meet in December. I think most of we were off for the second meeting, but we covered quite a few things. The 3 probably most relevant things to share out is that we approved our labor agreement with our maintenance employees and Teamsters union, and I think that came out as well as it could, and everybody was happy. And we also approved our labor agreement with our transit union for our supervisors and dispatchers and operation control supervisor and maintenance clerks, and so that was very positive. And then we, kind of along the same lines of what we were just talking about, we received an update on the NCTD redevelopment projects, and that's right hand in hand with some of the SB 79 stuff that we were just discussing. The main project that we talked about at this meeting, though, was the Oceanside Transit Center, and that's actually one particular area where I think a mixed-use project along with the transit will actually be really nice. The drawings looked really nice. I think it's going to be a huge upgrade from the current Oceanside Transit District or transit station. If you've ridden the train or been there recently, it's kind of run down and needs some upkeep and redevelopment there. And this is going to be part of that. And the Oceanside City Council recently approved the plan, so it looks like it's going to go forward. So it's going to be a mixed-use project with some residential, obviously, the coaster train and the buses, as well as some commercial with restaurants and shops and nicer bathrooms, because last time I rode the coaster, the bathroom was quite a mess down there. So I'm glad that they're going to work on that. And then the last thing, the fun part of the meeting is we were able to recognize our tenured employees for 5, 10, 15, 20
yeah.
plus years. And in fact, we had a couple that were even at 30 years. So
Wow.
super fun.
Yeah. And, that's a very good location for transit-oriented
Correct.
development. It makes sense. It's not in the middle of a residential neighborhood with single-family homes. So that's good. I'm glad to see that they're actually moving forward on it. And that actually, they're going to be, isn't Seabreeze building that? I don't know why I think this in my head.
No, Seabreeze is looking at maybe doing something at the Carlsbad station.
Okay, I had that messed up.
Yep.
Do we know who the developer is on that? Not that it matters, but it's a good,
I've spoken to them, but I don't recall off the top.
and that's going to be a revenue generator for NCTD,
Correct.
which means they will have supplemental income coming in to help fund the operations. So we like that. That's being very entrepreneurial and more like a business.
And
We
again,
like-
our next meeting is in Oceanside at the district offices on Thursday at 2 p.m.
Okay, thank you very much. And we do not have a North County dispatch. I don't think, Councilmember.
I checked with her today, Mayor.
Okay.
The next meeting is not till February.
I was going to say, I didn't think
She's
she had a
fairly
meeting.
confident she'll be able to make that meeting.
Perfect. Okay, Clean Energy Alliance, Councilmember. And
Thank
you
you.
already have a to-do list walking in to the next meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And our next meeting is January 29th at 2 p.m. at the Leucadia Water District. And so we will be voting on new rates.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that. And moving on to council business visits, which, did we have a business visit?
Yesterday.
Okay, yesterday. That's right. I couldn't attend because I forget I had something else I had 5 things at one time. It's always fun. So there it is.
I
Councilmember and
recognize those
Deputy Mayor.
people. Yes. So we, the Deputy Mayor and I went out to GL Pools, which is in the 3000 block of South Santa Fe. So just as you're starting to head out of town, and GL stands for the last names of Kyle Gardner and Austin Loby, childhood friends who have ventured into businesses over the years and finally settled on the pool service industry. Their longstanding friendship translated into a strong business partnership, collaborative values driving their company culture. About 4 years ago, they expanded from the original Kearney Mesa location to San Marcos, and they are seeing an extremely strong presence in North County. Company's grown steadily and now employs over 65 full-time employees with more than 20 based in the San Marcos location, demonstrating a meaningful investment in the local workforce. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, this was a fun one for me. I met Austin at a Chamber of Commerce event that they had at Terry recently, and struck up a conversation, and then found Tess and connected them, and they ultimately ended up setting up this business visit, which was a lot of fun. They, as Councilmember Musgrove mentioned, they've been childhood friends. They really are all about setting up a culture of kind of a family-run business, although they're getting quite sizable. We got a chance to walk through their facility. They had ping pong tables and poker table and just a bunch of little activities where they bring the whole team together almost every single day, just to have some team building and some other activities to bring everybody and talk about how they can operate the business better and serve their customers better. So it was really a great experience, and I'm glad that it shows how being part of our local Chamber of Commerce pays off, because I probably would not have met Austin otherwise and wouldn't have had this meeting. And like I said, they prioritize people, the service, quality. The other thing they talked about too, and when I think about pool service, I'm thinking more traditional pools that we might have in our backyard or maybe at an HOA or something like that. But they also do like jacuzzi or spa service as well, both for in-ground and above ground, which I hadn't heard that was a service. And so that's something, if anybody out there that's watching either live or on TV is interested in, that might be something you might want to reach out to them about. And they're looking to continue to grow and be successful. They're They're already starting to think they're probably going to outgrow their current space where they're at off of South Santa Fe. And of course, I had to ask the question that if they, when that time comes and they need to relocate to a larger space, would they stay in San Marcos? And they said absolutely 100% they're going to. So that's great news. And then, of course, Sarah and Tess from our economic development team were quick to jump in and offer to help them relocate when that time comes. So that was great. That was great. And yeah, they're gonna keep expanding. They want to reach out to kind of the more commercial side of the business. They have most of their business right now is on the residential side, but they're looking at maybe forming some relationships with city pools or some of the pools maybe at Palomar College or some of the swim schools that we have in the community as well. So they're looking at that commercial side of it and government side of it as well. It was exciting. It was fun.
An interesting fact that they offered up. We were talking about expansion and hiring processes. They're just about at capacity for what they can support with the employees in the current San Marcos structure, which is why they would need to move out. They have a lot of work that comes in, but they have a professional service that does their HR hiring for them. They said for every position they have, they receive about 1,000 applications.
Wow.
So they screen them out for fly-by-night people that just want to come in for a summer job. They're looking for people that are in the industry or have a commitment to doing this work because they want to build those relationships with their customers so that they can provide that high quality of service, which is pretty impressive. I would never have imagined that many people.
Well, I was actually looking at that picture and I was thinking, wow, that's a pretty big team.
Yeah, they have 65, I think is right about the number of total employees.
Wow.
And they use, I guess Ted Williams, I think is what they said is the cutoff. So anything south of there, it'll come from the Kearney Mesa office. They'll go to Rancho Bernardo, Penasquitos, but not much further south from the San Marcos area.
So how many people are working at the San Marcos? Is that the 65 or is it company-wide?
That's a compilation. It's about
Okay.
20 in San
Okay,
Marcos.
yeah, all
We
right.
went around the back area, quick count, I think I saw 15 maybe. Beautiful service trucks. Some of the slides depicted those.
Mhm.
And the guys were just coming in by the end of their shifts. They start early and finish early afternoon.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah,
fantastic
we were right
operation.
there at the end of the shift, and we got to meet, 4 or 5 of the employees and shake their hand and just, talk to them a little bit about what they do, and they take a lot of pride in what they're doing, and yeah, it's just a great company. It's just another one of those exciting, fun San Marcos businesses.
Nice, and the ping pong table.
Yeah.
The competitiveness.
Dartboard.
Their
they had
business
it
is
all.
actually, was 3 separate businesses. They're renting the entire structure, so in one space where he said it was a bike shop, I think bicycle. They use that for one aspect, and they have a warehouse and then some business offices. So they're using every bit of space they have.
Okay, council commentary. I have something. Does anyone else have anything?
Just Happy New Year, San Marcos.
Happy New Year. Blue zones. Don't know if you all saw, but San Marcos is launching a blue zone study that is going to take roughly 6 months. It's all about, make sure you watch the documentary on Netflix if you haven't seen it, but it's about health, wellness, quality of life, longevity, but really focusing on also adding in that community support, the social interactions for the total well-being of our community. We're planning on, like I said, about 6 months from now, we'll have, I guess it will be kind of a to-do list of what we can do to improve our quality of life in San Marcos for our residents. And then we start the implementation phase, and that will be a lot of investment from healthcare, health insurance companies, that sort of thing, who really believe in figuring out, and by the way, just to give you a little sneak preview of what a blue zone, if you haven't seen the Netflix series, it's 5 naturally occurring blue zones in the world, and the author or the study person that studied the blue zones, Dan Buettner, went and figured out what can cities do that are currently already a city. And by the way, one of the naturally occurring blue zones is actually in Loma Linda, California, believe it or not, right here locally. But what can we do as a city to improve on what we're doing now today? A lot of it, has to do with exercise, food initiatives. Food is medicine for our bodies. So it's really exciting that we're doing this. It really kind of lends to everything that we've already been doing in San Marcos, but taking everything to the next level to figure out how we can make our community healthier, happier, and not only just live longer, but live a better quality of life. So excited to have that happen. I won't be here when we get into the full implementation. It will take a few years. But anyway, excited to bring this forward for our community and watch what will happen in San Marcos, transforming the quality of life with our residents. Does anyone else have anything else? With that, Happy New Year, and thank you for coming to our first meeting, and this meeting's adjourned.